Hello everyone, I'm ImKibitz and welcome back to Satisfactory, where we now live in the light of Update 4, and have just got started with our new playthrough. And now today we're going to be going out into the world, automating some aluminum and getting all of the new Tier 7 and 8 tech, or at least as much as we can. And if you're wondering why we have so much stuff for a brand new playthrough, check out the last video for the full explanation, but TLDR, I went in creative mode in Update 3 and used mods to automate everything in Tiers 1 to 6. So all the Tier 1 to 6 stuff is done, which is why we have this massive storage room right off the bat, and why we're pretty much immediately gonna start building mega factories in this playthrough. But before anything, we need the technology to do things. So, we're gonna need bauxite refinement and logistics Mark V right off the bat, along with the hover pack. Praise be the hover pack. This will be essential in building our mega factories, and we have to unlock it as soon as possible. But it all starts with bauxite. So, let's select the milestone. Let's send up the items and rock and roll. Awesome.
Milestone reached. Quartz and bauxite scanning unlocked.
Yes, it is. So, we need to automate the aluminum stuff, and as I mentioned in the first episode of this series, we're going with the multi-base structure for our factories. So we're going to have factories all throughout the world doing independent things, and one of which will be for aluminum. And I have the perfect spot picked out. And that is over with Mr. Bean, way over here, just through the woods, to our perfect location here. This is pretty much right down in the middle south of the map, kind of in between the swamp, the red forest, the blue crater lake, and the green hills. And it is an extremely good spot to do aluminum stuff because there is a new nitrogen gas node right here, and it's pure as well, which is awesome. Also, there are a bunch of new bauxite nodes added to this biome. So there's an impure one here, there's a pure one up in the cliffs, and then there's another one right over this way. So 3 new bauxite nodes for us to play around with. And also our factory spot is close to the swamp, which has some bauxite there, the red forest, which has most of the bauxite, and also super importantly, there's a big lake of water right next door there. So by the time we need to make alumina, we have all the water we need. But wait, there's more. There's also 2 new water resource wells right next door as well. So there's one right here, and there's another one kind of like right down in here-ish, somewhere around there. There's 2 though, so that's like another 6,000 water per minute. So yeah, this is like literally the perfect spot. Centralized on all the world's bauxite, we got nitrogen right there, we got beans, we got water. Yep, this is gonna be a fantastic spot. So I'm gonna start building some platforms out here and rocking and rolling. And while we do, we have new alternate recipes to unlock. Oh, don't tell me that game. There we go. Now that we've unlocked bauxite, all the new alternates from Update 4 will start unlocking, and we can start to mess around with them. So, getting started with the factory design though, I brought some train tracks over and got our train station set up. So we got the big old train station right next door, right next to the nitrogen right there. The train tracks are coming from there. There's a big junction, which goes towards the green hills and towards our desert. And then this is kind of a midway point where it goes this way. And then for our factory itself, we're going to have it raised up and above these trees here. So we're gonna cover pretty much all of the trees with concrete. And that's just because I don't want to destroy all the nature. Looks cool down there. Also, fun fact with building concrete platforms, there's a few ways to go about it. You can build the concrete really fast if you just aim your cursor like right there and then run forward. You can automatically build the platforms beside you, and you just can keep running, moving, and grooving. So that's a pretty quick way to make platforms. Personally though, I like to just make platforms like this, where I have a section going out like that, and then I can span them up. Obviously you make mistakes, but hey, it's still pretty good. Sometimes if you just aim right next to them, it's a little bit easier. But yep, hand building platforms again because mods aren't available. It is what it is. But just with using these methods, it doesn't take too long anyway. No time at all. Well, it did take 10 minutes, so we have a new hard drive. What do we have here? Pure aluminum ingot. Scrap just to the straight up aluminum there. Very interesting. Alclad casing. Ooh, this one looks really, really good. More efficient use of aluminum? Yes, please. And electrode scrap. That just uses petroleum coke with alumina instead of normal coal. Okay, well that one looks incredible. We will get that one and keep on grooving here. Specifically into the realm of design. So here's the plan. We have the train station right there and we have a platform going over top. So we can have an area going through here where all the items can go up and down and travel all around through the train station. So these 2 blocks will be for transporting items. We'll have this random space here for kind of random machinery. And then this main area here is going to be very strange. We're going to have blenders up on a main floor where we can see them up here. So these manufacturers are just a placeholder because we don't have the blenders built yet. But yeah, we'll have blenders going all the way over this way. And just down here, we're going to have all the pipes and the belt work going on. So we won't have a lot of mess upstairs. We'll have that down here being organized. And there's plenty of space for belts and things, so that should all work out quite well, right? Let's see, if we have the blender, yeah, if all the inputs come in through the left side and go out through the right side. So yeah, we have the tile here, tile there, everything goes in, everything plops out. Yep, that should work out really well. And then later on, since we have this free tile, we can have a cool platform kind of raised up and going overhead. And that's where we could walk and monitor all the machines. Maybe even put some lights up there too. It could be cool, very cool. But is the design as cool as the new alternate recipe we get? So electrode scrap again, okay. Sloppy alumina, which is just bauxite and water to make that. But the sloppy alumina is more efficient on the bauxite. Yeah, you get 10 bauxite in and you get 12 alumina stuff out. Then radio control system. I have not looked at all the alternate recipes of this yet, so it's still kind of up in the air. Looks good, but this one is good. So we'll get that. Also, did more design work. Behold, the new section of the area. So we are going to have to do a lot of, oh my gosh, I thought I was dead. We have to do a lot of refining for bauxite. All that alumina stuff is in refineries. So we have a huge section laid out here to build them. We'll build this out probably to this big tree over there, and then as far out this way as we need to, because oh man, you need so many refineries for this production line. But now at least we have a nice cordoned off area. And that's kind of everything that has to do with this entire base. So we have the small machines over there, we have the blenders in the middle. I'm leaving a little bit of room here just for logistics. And then right in the corner actually, we're going to build an item spine. So all of the items for the factory will go up through here and travel through the floors here. So we're gonna have like this be the main item spine. And then over by the train station, like I mentioned before, that's just gonna be like extra logistical room. Because I've noticed with working on projects, you don't wanna just have one spot for it all. You wanna leave yourself a little bit of room. So now we have this main item spine, we have a hallway right next to it for moving items around. We'll have the kind of logistics floor underneath all of the blenders, and then we'll have that little bit of space in between the train and the smaller scale production. And that's the overall design of our aluminum factory. Of course, this is only the beginning, and it will grow much taller and much bigger as time moves on. But it's good to have like a rough idea in your head about these things. But with that all out of the way, let's just go ahead and grab our extra recipes here, and figure out our production lines. So we'll just get that really quick. And the electrode aluminum scrap as well. You guys might be wondering why I'm not picking the turbo fuel recipe, by the way, and that's just because sulfur is super, super important to us in this playthrough, and we want to use most of it, if not all of it, for nuclear power. So we're totally ignoring turbo fuel. Although this might be really good. Yeah. We're not messing with that this time. So let's get that and figure out our production lines. So I was going through some of the things, and honestly, aluminum is pretty straightforward nowadays, especially with these alternates. So we got that sloppy alumina recipe, that's just bauxite and water, to the solution, and then we go from that to just the aluminum scrap recipe. This is just the normal one with the solution and the coal to make 360 scrap and some water, so that's super cool. The scrap will just be straight up melted down into pure aluminum ingots. This is that recipe we skipped earlier, but I got it again off camera. And it just turns the scrap into ingots. And then from there, we can turn the scrap into the alclad sheets and the casings. But the best part is this sloppy alumina recipe. It's actually amazing, because it just takes 200 bauxite and makes 240 alumina solution. It's one refinery to one refinery for when you're making the aluminum scrap. Also, when you're making the scrap, you get water back, 120 water back. So you flow this back into the sloppy alumina refinery, and that means that you only need 80 water net going into the system. So less pipes, less problems, you know what I'm talking about? So since we're just getting started here, we're not going to build like the most efficient system. We're gonna use this process and build like a mini system way in the back of our aluminum base. Probably right here next to the item spine. And then, once we have more technology, and more specifically more power, we will expand our production capabilities. So excuse me, sir, there's some bauxite I desperately need. Then we're also gonna need a little bit of coal. And then we're just gonna grab some copper from over this way, kind of by the blue crater lake here. And that's just gonna be for the alclad sheets. Oh, and fun fact, I'm dead. Okay, actual fun fact, before I was rudely interrupted, but right next to that copper node is the new water node. It's a normal one, but hey, that's fine. More water, the better, sir, please. And then our aluminum stuff is going on right over there. And with that all coming up our item spine now, we're able to make aluminum. Aluminum. Just with that process I explained earlier. So everything starts out becoming the solution, just with the sloppy alumina, going into the scrap right over here. We use those pure ingot recipes to keep things simple and turn scrap into ingots. The ingots then join forces with copper to make alclad sheets and the aluminum casings. And yeah, none of this is like super efficient. It just kind of works and will help us get our new technology we need. Also, I did something relatively interesting downstairs with these items. So we do not want our bauxite to be tied up in this temporary system forever. So what I've done, specifically with the bauxite and the coal, is I have all of the bauxite feed into a buffer bin. And from the buffer bin, we have a smart splitter right after it. So the right output is bauxite, and then the overflow is more bauxite. So all of the overflow from the bauxite and the coal go upstairs into that system I just showed off, where the main line will go into the rest of our factory. So with this and the buffer there, we should be able to rely on this line and assume it's stable for future calculations. And then when the main factory is all filled up, all the excess stuff will go to make our alclad sheets and casings. So it should work out pretty well. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I thought I just had to hook up the power to this. I totally forgot water. Oh yeah. So we need to bring 80 water per minute up to there, but of course we're gonna need like just a billion water for this project. So off we go, doing some overboard project now. And we don't have access to the resource wells just yet. So I guess we're going to ye ol' bean puddle. And we'll get a bit to drink from there. Yep, thank you ye ol' bean puddle for the sippy drink. So we got a ton of water out of this right off the bat, because we know we're gonna need it. So we have, what is this? 6 full 600 pipes of water coming up into the base here and into a new water spine type area. So right in the middle of everything, we have this huge water pipe zone where all of the water and soon all of the nitrogen will come up and feed our factories. Though we might move that later on, because if we bring the water up there, we need a lot of space to like deal with it. So I've kind of cordoned out a new room, which will be the pipe logistics room. So if all the pipes are coming up here, we have a pretty decently sized space to deal with all the water. But we'll finalize these things a little later on. And then once we do, we'll find an area to build our main circuit breaker room so we can have the factory be turned on and off. Main thing now is that we just have this little bit of water and we have this little runoff valve here, just taking 80 per minute out of the system, so that now we can get our alclad sheets and all that new tech. And we'll start things off by finally unlocking some Mark V belts so that we can actually do things efficiently.
Milestone
Lovely.
reached.
Thank you very much. And then things get a little bit more complicated because now we need radio control units in order to build the blenders and stuff. And we need the blenders because to get the jetpack thing, or the hover pack, we need the cooling unit? What? Oh, sorry, the cooling system. But yeah, that needs radio control units. Luckily, they're not too bad to make, especially now that we have the aluminum casing stuff. So I just brought the casings upstairs to our storage room and kind of did an overflow system with them. So we have one line that's going off to make radio control units and another line that's going down here, which is our storage for the casings. Because we're gonna need a lot of those casings and I didn't leave myself any room in this storage room. So they're just kind of sitting over here now. But yeah, as for the rest of the casings, they go down their own little spaghetti belt all the way deep into our starter factory. And I kind of cobbled together all the resources we needed to automate some radio control units. Albeit very slowly, but again, we just need this running. And how's our power looking with that running now? Getting spooky, getting spooky. Max consumption up to 27,000 megawatts. Our capacity is like 19,000. Yeah, this is becoming a problem. But new texture isn't, so let's get the pressurized wells. That will get us the nitrogen, and with the nitrogen, we can make the cooling units, and with the cooling units, we can suffer. Haha, JK. No, with cooling units, we get our hover pack. Awesome. So how do you make one of these resource wells? Resource well. Oh, it's pretty cheap. Some encased beams, motors, da-da-da, and some steel and plastic. Yeah, it's not bad at all. So scooting our way downtown, adding nitrogen, going fast. Okay, let us get our pressurizer. Excellent. And the extraction wells. What? You need to place this on an activated fracking satellite node. Oh, we have to turn the big thing on. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. No proberino, sir. Let's hook it up. No monsters, please. No, good. Ooh, very good. Dude, I vibe with this thing. Oh yeah, bud. Dude, that is so cool. Such a show of industrial might. I vibe with that, brother. All right, but now we can put those resource wells down. Nice, it's pure, so that means we get 120 gas per minute. But then, if we go back to this and overclock it, we should end up getting like 300 gas per minute from each node? 99% sure. So put it on blast. 3,000 gas per minute. Oh my God, though. 650 megawatts though? Brother, please. We just checked our power. How's it now? You can see the jump just from that one machine. Oof. Well, it is a hefty boy. And what do we do with this now? We need a blender. There we go. And the blender needs water, nitrogen, rubber, heatsink. Okay. How we're gonna go about this is we're just going to automate like the heat sinks and just bring over rubber through bins. We're not gonna make the whole process all set and done here. We're just going to get what we need and then get out. I want my hover pack And then we have bigger, more important projects that we have to get to first. Oh, baby. Looking good, right? You better believe it. So we got some heat sinks being made here. They're relatively cheap, actually. Alclad sheets, copper sheets, bada boom, bada bing. Rubber, the rest of the jazz. And now, with this overclocked, we have the 100 cooling systems we needed to get our hover pack. So we'll leave this running until it runs out of stuff in like the bins I brought over, and we'll rebuild this properly later on. Oh, and I've been waiting for this. The hover pack is one of the coolest things added in update 4, and now it is time to get it. Hello? Where'd it go? Excuse me? Tier 7. What? The Mad Dads, they finally did it. They said they're gonna lower the hover pack down to earlier tiers, and I guess instead of being in tier 8, it's in tier 7 now. Dude, what a good change. It just takes this stuff and a little bit of alclad aluminum sheets? Bruh, does that mean we just did the whole cooling system setup for nothing? Yeah, pretty much. But hey, now we have access to more oil and water with the pressurized well, so that's cool. But main thing is, we got the hover pack. Let's go, dude. And launch. Let's go, go. What? Let me click the button. Yes. Yes.
Milestone reached. The hover pack enables aerial overview of all powered factories as well as easy transport across multi-level buildings by wirelessly connecting to the power grid.
Good. Good. This thing is like the best building tool since sliced bread. Where is it? Hover pack. Give. Beautiful. We're free. Free to fly around wherever we want, not worry about ladders, none of that nonsense. The power comes through the floors as well, I think. And hi. Goodbye. Yeah, this is fantastic. We desperately need this because our next project is massive. And there's no way we're going about building it without this hover pack to help us. Because, as I've been kind of showing you guys, the power is a huge problem. And we desperately need like a mid-tier solution in between where we're at and nuclear. Because you need a lot of power in order to make the uranium fuel rods, and particle enrichment takes just a heck of a lot more to get rid of the nuclear waste. So we need like somewhere in the range of 100,000 to 150,000 megawatts of power. And as I mentioned earlier, we don't want to mess with turbo fuel because that uses sulfur. Thus, we will be using fuel and building a super massive fuel power plant. Mainly because we have the ultimate new recipe in the game. Alternate diluted fuel. An alternate recipe that takes water and turns it into oil effectively. And we don't have to unpackage and repackage it, which we had to do with our first fuel power plant. So this is a game changer and our #1 priority. However though, we will be getting to that next time. So I hope you guys enjoyed and thank you for watching. But have a fantastic rest of your day and bye-bye.